Welcome. Today, we're diving into why uncertainty often feels more distressing than failure. While failure is typically seen as the worst outcome, many people find uncertainty even more unsettling. Failure has a clear ending. Something happened, it's over, and you know what to do next. But uncertainty, it has no boundaries. When we can't predict what's coming, our brains feel like they've lost control. Humans naturally crave stability, and uncertainty disrupts that sense of grounding. This disruption makes us feel unsafe and uneasy, setting the stage for why the unknown can be so challenging to handle. Let's explore how our minds react to this lack of clarity. Psychologically, our brains prefer certainty, even if it's bad news, over not knowing what might happen. Certainty lets us prepare, while uncertainty keeps us on high alert, constantly scanning for threats. This ongoing vigilance drains our mental energy and creates discomfort. Think of failure as a closed door. It's painful, but you know where you stand. Uncertainty, on the other hand, leaves many doors half open, which is mentally exhausting. Predictability feels safer, and when it's missing, our minds struggle to relax. This explains why we often feel more anxious about the unknown than about outcomes we already know are negative. Failure, while painful, usually comes with a story. We can explain what happened, process it, and even learn from it. This gives us a sense of closure and meaning. Uncertainty, however, offers no narrative. Nothing has happened yet, so there's no lesson to draw. Our minds dislike unfinished stories and crave resolution. When we're stuck in uncertainty, that resolution is delayed, making it emotionally harder to tolerate. This lack of narrative leaves us feeling suspended, unable to move forward or make sense of our experiences. It's this absence of meaning that makes uncertainty so uncomfortable. When outcomes are unknown, our imagination rushes in to fill the gaps. The brain is quick to generate worst-case scenarios, which amplifies our fears. Failure, by contrast, limits imagination because it defines what went wrong. Uncertainty, however, allows fear to expand in many directions at once. Instead of facing a single outcome, our minds rehearse multiple possible threats, making us feel overwhelmed. This tendency to imagine the worst is a natural response, but it can make uncertainty feel even more threatening than it actually is. Understanding this can help us recognize why our fears sometimes spiral when we don't have answers. From a young age, we're taught to value having answers. Schools reward correctness and certainty, while admitting uncertainty is often seen as a weakness. Over time, this social conditioning makes us fear not knowing more than being wrong. Failure can be explained, but uncertainty feels harder to justify, especially in social settings. This increases our discomfort and reinforces the fear of the unknown. Additionally, uncertainty can delay our sense of identity. When outcomes are unclear, it's hard to define ourselves or know how to adjust. This identity limbo creates ongoing tension and makes waiting for clarity feel even heavier. To protect ourselves, we often avoid uncertainty by sticking to familiar paths, even if those paths aren't ideal. The known feels safer, while the unknown feels threatening. This avoidance provides short-term relief, but can limit our growth. Tolerating uncertainty requires patience, emotional regulation, and trust in our ability to cope with whatever comes next. These skills are demanding, and waiting without resolution is psychologically harder than responding to a clear outcome. But learning to sit with uncertainty is essential for personal growth and resilience. Growth often depends on our ability to tolerate uncertainty long enough for clarity to emerge. Those who learn to stay present without rushing toward certainty build resilience. Uncertainty becomes information, not just a threat. This doesn't mean fear disappears, but it does mean fear stops controlling our decisions. Over time, uncertainty becomes less overwhelming, and we become more adaptable. Patience and emotional endurance are key to making uncertainty manageable and allowing growth to happen, even when guarantees are absent. Sum up, humans fear uncertainty more than failure because it removes control, meaning, and resolution all at once. Failure provides closure, while uncertainty keeps the story open and drains our energy. Learning to tolerate uncertainty doesn't mean we have to like it. It means recognizing that clarity often follows patience. When we stop treating uncertainty as an enemy, we open the door to growth, even without guarantees. Thank you for joining this exploration. Remember, growth happens when we learn to sit with the unknown.